Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Outside the Ropes. I'm your host of Outside the Ropes, as always, Matthew Moore. Hope you're all doing well out there, and thank you very much for tuning in to this week's edition of Outside the Ropes. Now, if you haven't listened to our Hell in the Cell pre-show from this past Sunday, you can catch up on our Twitter, Facebook, and also on our YouTube channel. We've had great response from all sources, including iTunes, for our show last Sunday, where Tony dropped in to the podcast and had a wee chat, and we previewed last Sunday's Hell in the Cell. Now, on tonight's podcast, we're going to be talking about the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view from this past Sunday. We're also going to talk about Monday Night Raw. We're going to bring out some news and scoops that's been going on over the last few days. We've got some interesting stories tonight, guys. We've got some stories regarding Kurt Angle. Also, Ronda Rousey maybe heading to WWE very, very soon. And we've also got some other news that we're going to bring to you tonight on this edition of Outside the Ropes. And before we go any further on to this podcast, just want to give a shout out to our friends and partners of this show, as we always do. Guys, if you're historians of professional wrestling, like me and everybody else here at Outside the Ropes, if you're an old fan, a new fan, or whatever type of fan you are of wrestling, whether it be WWE, WCW, WWF, even as far back as the old WWF, Wrestling's Past is the location. Go to their website, wrestlingspast.blogspot.co.uk, and on Twitter, at Wrestling's Past, for their daily tweets and all their history of wrestling. Wrestling's Past is the location, guys. Check them out. They're awesome. We love them. You'll love them too. It's Wrestling's Past. Okay, let's get straight into it, guys. What a pay-per-view from this past Sunday. Hell in the Cell. Oh, great card from top to bottom. Myself and Tony talked about it on the podcast. We were supposed to have a guest on the podcast. We did record an interview, we did say, but the audio equipment decided to play funny on us, so it did. But again, apologies to our guest, Ashley, who was supposed to come on the show last Sunday. But Hell in the Cell, guys, it was a great pay-per-view from top to bottom. Had some great matches. We had some surprises. Let's get straight into it. We had the 6-man tag team match, which was the kickoff show, which was okay, no surprise. Cesaro was on fire, wasn't he? He was really kicking ass on Sunday night. But the pre-show match, the 6-man tag, was reasonably good. Not bad tag team match at all. But what a way to kick off the pay-per-view. We had the John Cena US Open Challenge. We were talking about it on the show on Sunday. We had your tweets and emails and all your predictions that come into the show. I gave my prediction. I was hoping it was going to be Finn Balor. Tony wanted Sami Zayn. A lot of you did want Sami Zayn, but we also heard throughout the entire day that Daniel Bryan was in the building and he was going to appear and challenge John Cena. But guys, what an absolute shocker. We had Zeb Coulter, who we haven't seen on TV for a long time. I think the last time we saw Zeb Coulter on WWE TV is whenever he was kicked in the head by Rusev. But he appeared on one of those little mobile carts, is what we call here in Northern Ireland, the shop mobility carts. I've actually drove one of them, actually very fun. And he brought out John Cena's opponent. Of all the people in the world, the returning of Alberto Del Rio. My God, who could see that one coming? I didn't see it coming. Nobody saw it coming. I didn't even hear anything right up to the last minute of the pay-per-view that he was there. 4 days before the pay-per-view, I watched his shoot interview. And he turned around and said that he was happy where he was now and he wasn't going back after the whole incident where he slapped a social media worker for WWE and he was fired. And now all of a sudden he's back. But we hear that his deal is that he won't be working as many dates as he did before, but he will be doing some of his independent dates up until they're finished, and then he'll be on WWE's scheduled roster, but he won't be working as many dates. But the match itself, Alberto Del Rio is your new United States champion. Unreal. Alberto Del Rio beat John Cena clean. Now, we did say on Sunday's podcast and last Wednesday that we hear the story that John Cena is leaving the WWE for a while. John Cena, and then we found out today, is scheduled to come back to the WWE around about the end of December, which is a show advertised for Madison Square Garden on the 26th of December. But on the 13th of December is the TLC pay-per-view, which is held in Cena's hometown of Boston. So maybe Cena could be back for the pay-per-view TLC. We all know he's away to do some reality TV show, but he could be back very, very soon. But for the meantime, you will not see John Cena on WWE TV. But Alberto Del Rio is your new Intercontinental Champion. I think it's a great move by WWE. They've got this whole thing where Zeb Coulter's now saying the country should now come together, even though he used to be an American prisoner, and said that all these foreigners should be shipped out, but now he's together with Alberto Del Rio, and they have this flag where it's together as one, i.e. being the Mexican and the United States flag. Great combination. Everybody knows Seb Coulter from back in the day, and obviously in recent times in WWE, but Seb Coulter, great manager. Uncle Zebekiah from back in the day as well, with Jake and Eli Blue, for all you wrestling fans from back in the day. And if you hadn't heard about them guys, go and check out Wrestling's Past, because they'll be able to tell you all about it. There you go. Nor a cheap plug for our place. But moving on, yeah, guys, we have a new US champ in Alberto Del Rio. The tag team titles, for the love of God, I'm cringing even talking about it. How the hell the New Day are still the tag team champions, I'll never know. But the New Day defeated the Dudley Boys and retained their tag team titles. Really starting to piss me off. They have to lose the belt sometime soon. And I've had a lot of people saying, Matthew, you're speaking about it on the podcast. They must be getting to you. It's working. You should know yourself. You work in the business. I know it is good. But for the love of God, Big E, stop wiggling your hips, because it's making me want to throw up inside a bin. Really, Big E, stop wiggling your hips. You're making me sick. Honestly. But they are still the tag team champions. Kevin Owens retained his Intercontinental title, which I'm not surprised. We have the Divas title remaining on Charlotte, sorry. Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt. What a match. They beat the absolute hell out of each other. Back and forward match. Roman Reigns beat his ass. He beat Roman's ass. What a match. Back and forward. Roman Reigns comes out on top, as I predicted. Tony wanted Bray Wyatt to win that one, but I thought Roman was going to come out on top, which he did. So Roman Reigns is victorious this past Sunday at Hell in a Cell. The WWE World Heavyweight title match, Kane versus Seth Rollins. Berv Kane lost, and then Corporate Kane would be no more. A great build-up. I must admit, you have to agree with me here. It was a great build-up, great video package, great leading up to the match for weeks. Great build-up the whole way up to the pay-per-view, and I thought the match itself was not great. And the way it ended clean, where he beat him with a pedigree, and that was it. Corporate Kane is no more. We have Demon Kane to deal with now, which we'll talk more about shortly. But disappointed with that match itself, but Seth Rollins is still the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Moving on into the big fight itself, guys. Wow. What can I say? Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. Hell in a Cell. We had blood. We had carnage. We had violence. We had, oh my God, moments. I was so happy with that. Yes, people were saying, like, oh, it's not as violent as what it was back in the day. But for the era that we're in now, the PG era, it was pretty damn good, in my opinion. It was a good, solid match, apart from the camera angle where he was supposed to tombstone him on the wooden boards, but it obviously looked like he didn't. But, I mean, the match itself was a good, solid match from both guys, or Brock Lesnar. No surprise when Brock Lesnar came out on top again. But it was the end of the match that caught everybody's eye. When Brock Lesnar had left the arena, Taker had made his way back onto his feet, and then we had an appearance from the Wyatt family, who beat down the Undertaker and took the Undertaker away. Kind of carried him away in a way like they did back in the old ECW days, but there was no crucifix involved regarding the Sandman. They kind of carried him away that type of fashion. Something like the Undertaker would have done maybe with the Ministry back in the old Attitude Era days. Took the Undertaker away, and that's how the pay-per-view went off the air. But we'll talk more about that shortly. So there's more involved in that storyline. Twitter went crazy. We had a great night on Twitter talking to fans about that match itself. But overall, guys, the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view was a great pay-per-view. If you did pay for it on pay-per-view, I think you got your money's worth, because I thought it was a good, solid pay-per-view. And if you watched it on the WWE Network again, you've got your money's worth again. But overall, guys, thank you so much for everybody who talked to us on Twitter that night. I had loads of retweets and tweets and messages and predictions and whatnot. So, yeah, overall, a great night for Outside the Ropes as well on Twitter. And thanks, hello to all the new followers as well of the show, if you're just new to it. Monday Night Raw, the next night. Wow. We had some great matches on the card, where the show started off where Triple H and Seth Rollins and Stephanie were in the ring, where they set up not like a tournament, but more of a series of matches, where all the winners from Hell in a Cell faced each other in one-on-one matches. And the winner of that would then go into a fatal four-way at the main event, where the winner of that would then face Seth Rollins, which looks like it's going to be at Survivor Series. We had some great matches on the card, but it came down to the main event where we had Roman Reigns, we had Alberto Del Rio. Yes, in the main event already again. Alberto Del Rio, Kevin Owens as well. But overall, Fatal 4-Way, it was a great match, but I called it from the start. I watched Raw. I said Roman Reigns was going to come on top. No matter who got to there, whoever got to the main event, whatever it was going to be Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns did win. Roman Reigns came out on top. Roman Reigns is now your number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight title, where he will face Seth Rollins, which looks like it's going to be at Survivor Series. Interesting. We also had a major turn in the Divas division. We had this story building for weeks where Paige was acting really odd and funny, where she finally turned on Charlotte and Becky Lynch by beating them down and turning on them. We went then back to the Undertaker saga, what's been going on. Bray Wyatt was in the ring cutting a promo. Out comes Kane, Demon Kane, to try and get some retribution for his brother, the Undertaker. Where then the Wyatt family beat down Kane and carried Kane away the same way. Now, for what we hear out here at Outside the Ropes, guys, that Survivor Series, obviously it's been announced for Survivor Series, that it's going to be celebrating the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker. 25 years, I can't believe I actually remember watching the first event like it was yesterday. Not telling you my age, by the way. But for what we hear, it's going to be either a handicap match or maybe even a Survivor Series match. Now, we did put a tweet out on our Twitter account with a possible match for the pay-per-view, which we asked you for your predictions and that, which a lot of you did get back to us. A lot of you did retweet it. Thank you very much for that. But The Undertaker teaming up with Kane, with Sting, that's right, Sting, to face the Wyatt family. Would that ever happen? We don't know. Or is it going to be a handicap match that we hear? We don't know. For all we know is there's going to be a big feud setting up, maybe for Survivor Series, with The Undertaker and Kane battling the Wyatt family. Let us hear your predictions on that, guys. We want to hear what you think will happen at Survivor Series. Send us a tweet at Outside the Ropes. We do want to hear what your thoughts on this whole Undertaker saga is. So let us hear what you think on that. But again, Raw, another solid show from WWE on Monday night. Really good to see. So really happy with that, guys. And I'm looking forward to this 25th anniversary celebration. I wonder what they're going to do for The Undertaker. 25 years, The Undertaker. Must try and get Tony on sometimes before Survivor Series and talk about The Undertaker's career. 25 years. Unreal. I remember that first night at Survivor Series 1990. The Dream Team versus the $1 Million Team. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'll tell you a quick story about that, actually. It was 1990. I was 9 years of age. Figure out the age. Remember going to school on the Friday and sitting down in class with my friends and saying, you know, I've got this match coming up on Sunday. You know, who's $1 Million Man's partner going to be? We all were taking all these different guesses on who it would be. You know, maybe somebody would do 2 matches in one night. Who's going to come across? We don't know who it's going to be. We all know back then there was no internet and stuff like that. But I remember clearly sitting there going, I wonder who it's going to be. And I remember my dad let me sit up that night to watch it. Now, I paid the price for it the next day at school, being only 9 years of age. And I know I really should have been in bed sleeping, but I really wanted to see this pay-per-view. But I remember The Undertaker coming out that very first night at Survivor Series. I remember it like it was yesterday. And he came out, and you just sort of looked at him and thought, who the hell's he? But you thought, you wouldn't have thought, would he have lasted that long? 25 years later, he's still here. Unreal. But I'm looking forward to the 25th anniversary of Survivor Series this year, or anniversary of The Undertaker, this year at Survivor Series. Crazy. Where has the time gone? Moving away, guys, we've got some more news for what's been going on over the last few days since we last spoke to you. Now, we all know that SmackDown was taped last night and also Main Event was taped as well. But we also have came across some news today that a possibility that Rusev, that's right, Rusev has possibly picked up an injury on the tapings of Main Event this week. Now, we're going to keep a track in that story, and we'll keep it on our Facebook and Twitter account as well. Any more news we hear on this, we'll send it right away to you fans of Outside the Ropes. Rusev could be possibly injured after Tuesday night's tapings of Main Event. Also, now guys, on all seriousness, I want to say so our deepest condolences. We heard some sad news today. We posted it on our Facebook and Twitter tonight. Adam Rose has got some bad news. Adam Rose's sister, unfortunately, has passed away. We did send out the news earlier on today. Everybody here at the show would like to pass our condolences on to Adam Rose and all his family, as they did hear the unfortunate news that Adam Rose's sister has passed away. So, a bit of sad news on today's podcast, guys, that Adam Rose unfortunately has lost his sister. So, we send our prayers and thoughts out to Adam Rose at this time. It's very sad news. Interesting stories come out. Well, I read it today before I come on the air here. Kurt Angle signs with Bellator MMA company. There's a statement released today that Kurt Angle has signed with them. They said that he's a former WWE star and current TNA wrestler. Now, we haven't heard if Kurt is going to get into the cage and fight in an MMA capacity. All we know is that he signed some type of deal with them. We don't know exactly the full ins and outs of it just yet. But once we get the news on this deal, we'll give it right away to you here on Outside the Ropes. Now, Kurt Angle is a big fan of MMA. He used to attend Brock Lesnar's fights. He has an Olympic-style wrestling background, as we all know, and also a professional wrestling background too as well. We all know he's done a bit of MMA training, but we have heard today that he has signed a deal with Bellator. So we're going to try and keep an eye on that story, as it is a major story. And once we get any more at all, we'll get it to you here on Outside the Ropes. Also, a tag team is on their way back to action in WWE. We hear that the Usos are almost ready to go. In the last 2 to 3 weeks, they have been in the Performance Center getting themselves ready for return to the ring. We all know that one of the Usos injured their shoulder this past spring. They kept the other one on television as a bit of a singles competitor, done a bit of commentating and stuff like that. But now we hear that the Usos are ready to return to the tag team division, which is good because the tag team division is starting to pick up at the minute. And maybe they'll be the ones who whoops New Day's ass and stick that trumpet so far up Xavier Woods' ass that every time he talks he sounds like a trumpet. But anyway, the Usos are ready to return to action pretty soon. Another story that I heard today, guys, Nick Dinsmore. That's right, Eugene. Remember you all heard back in the day, Eugene, we heard he was released last October as a trainer at the Performance Center, but we hear today that Nick Dinsmore is in talks with WWE about a possible return. Now, if you haven't watched Nick Dinsmore from back in the day, he was a great competitor, even before the days of his run in WWE, as Eugene, Eric Bischoff's nephew, who was a fantastic entertaining character, had great matches, especially with Triple H at SummerSlam. But yeah, Eugene, Nick Dinsmore, whatever you want to call him, is in talks with the company about possibly coming back. Now, whether it be a wrestling standpoint of it or being a trainer, which is more likely going to be a trainer. But Nick, I'd like to see him back in the company because he has a great mind for the business. So Nick Dinsmore could be returning back to WWE rather soon. And another wee story that I heard today, and I've been reading about this quite a bit today, Ronda Rousey, I'm sure you all have heard the story floating around Twitter and Facebook and obviously the news today, that apparently in a recent interview, Ronda Rousey, that's right, she appeared at WrestleMania last year with The Rock in the ring with Stephanie and Triple H. But the female UFC Women's Champion Ronda Rousey said that someday she would love to be the Divas Champion. Now we hear the rumours obviously starting from the start of the year, even after WrestleMania, that Ronda could be possibly going to WrestleMania this year. She did say in an recent interview that she wants to retire from UFC or MMA, whatever you want to call it, before she's 30. So Ronda Rousey in WWE, would that work? Would it be a great thing to see in WWE? Would she be a dominant diva? Absolutely, because she's a fantastic athlete. But Ronda Rousey going to WWE very soon? I would love to see that because I'm a big Ronda Rousey fan, and a lot of our fans of this podcast are big fans of Ronda Rousey as well. So would she be on her way to WWE sooner than later? Let's keep an eye on that story and see. But there you go. Guys, I've got some emails and predictions from last Sunday. Obviously, thank yous for that. We've had some more tweets and stuff in from the last few days, especially about a tweet that we put out the other day on Monday there regarding the big premiere of the new James Bond movie where Dave Bautista stars in it as the villain. We sent out a wee tweet the other day with a photograph of someone there supporting Bautista. Unbelievable, can't even speak to get the words out. Shane McMahon, that's right, Shane McMahon turned up at the premiere in London to support Dave Bautista of the new James Bond movie, which is great to see Shane McMahon. We all would love to see Shane McMahon back in WWE someday, but Shane's doing other projects at the moment. But big congratulations to Dave Bautista as he is in the new James Bond movie, which I'm dying to see. I may actually go tomorrow and see it actually in the cinema. I'm dying to see that movie. But yeah, Shane McMahon. But we had some great responses from you guys on Twitter. A lot of you saying that Shane looks really old now because he's got a full head of grey hair. That's obviously the stress of being a top executive or a CEO of a company, or old age even. But yeah, a lot of you were speaking to us about. Now we got some tweets and people asking us, all the different things that we thought about, certain matches and stuff like that. But a lot of them has been towards the Undertaker's feud with the Wyatt family. I've already spoke about it, guys. It's been. I can't wait to see what's going to happen at Survivor Series, so I'm going to keep a good close eye on that. I know we're running right short on time here, so I haven't got very much time to read any more tweets or anything else. I do apologise, guys, because we'll have very short time tonight or this week. But I'm going to thank you all once again for all your messages and stuff like that over the last few days, because it's just unbelievable. Once I check the tweets every day, it's just there's so many. And a big hello to all the new followers as well. But guys, keep an eye on our social media feeds for all the latest news and scoops, as we will be posting out more this week, because there's going to be more news coming out, no doubt, leading into the weekend, because there normally is, especially with the Kurt Angle story that we're talking about, and obviously the Nick Dillsmore story, and more about the Ronda Rousey as well, and Rusev. So keep an eye on that as well. So there you go. But before I go, guys, I want to give just a wee shout out to our friends and partners of this podcast, Wrestling's Past. Don't forget to check them out, guys, on Twitter at Wrestling's Past, and also on Facebook. Well, not on Facebook, sorry, their website, wrestlingspast.blogspot.co.uk. Also, and if you live here locally in Ireland, I want to give a shout out to some promotions if you're heading to some of their shows coming up soon. Pro Wrestling Ulster have announced a date for their big show, Super Show 10. All their information for that show is on their website, prowrestlingulster.co.uk. Also, wrestling.ie have a couple of shows coming up that had some there last weekend. But don't forget to check out their website, which is wrestling.ie. Also, Over the Top Wrestling, I've got a big show coming up very, very soon as well, which is Over the Top Wrestling on Facebook and on Twitter too. And don't forget to check out all our local promotions right across the whole of Ireland. Guys, I'm going to hit the road here. I know it's a short and sweet one tonight. I do apologise, but thank you very much for hitting the download button on iTunes. And a big thank you for everybody who tuned in last Sunday, because the response we got for the last Sunday's show was over the top. Can't believe it. I forgot to say, enjoy TNA tonight, or enjoy NXT, or whatever other wrestling you're watching tonight, because I know they both are on the air tonight as well, as this show is recorded here on a Wednesday. I'm back next Wednesday for more news and scoops. Anything major happens, guys, you know where to find all our news on our social media feeds once again. But I'm going to hit the road. So enjoy TNA tonight, guys, or whatever it is you're watching. I'm going to be watching NXT. I know it's going to be a late one for me tonight, but I'm going to watch it anyway. So a big thank you once again, guys, for hitting the download button, subscribing to us, following us on Facebook and Twitter, etc. So for Matthew, your host, hope you enjoy the rest of your week, guys. And we'll see you all back here, same place, next Wednesday for another edition of Outside the Ropes.